We can't control people.
No, I really wish we could. And I've been trying for a very long time.
I know you. I think that, certainly, like, you want to change this person. You see, so much just potential in this person, or this guy you're dating, or this girl you're dating, or whatever that is. Like, if they would just do this, how many times in our life have we said that?
Let me not react in the same way. And it's really, really hard. It's like so hard. I think we were talking earlier. Another thing I liked about the book is I'm a vomit texter. She talks about that.
She's a vomit texter.
A vomit texter.
We have to say everything that's on our minds.
We know.
Okay, like, I'm not sure if you ever got that memo. I think some of us didn't.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
We don't have to say everything on our minds in the moment. Sometimes
Still
it's okay to take a step back and evaluate the scenario.
Like when she says, this stops now, like I need Mel to be telling me this stops now. Like I need that tone.
Can I control the situation right now? No, you can't. You can be a jerk about it. You can be all huffy and puffy and make other people uncomfortable in that situation. Right. Or you can just take a deep breath and just say, let them. Welcome back to the Sunshine Warrior podcast. Today, Shay and I are going to review the Let Them Theory book. So I know, for those of you that aren't aware, this book has sold over 1 million copies worldwide since December 2024. So I know it's on fire. Everybody's talking about it. And so, of course, we needed to get in on that action and be like, what's this thing all about? Right? So let's dive in. So tell me a little bit about, your experience with this book. Like, what was it that you're like, because we were like going back and forth. Oh my God, what about this? Oh my God, what about that? Like, so just like overall, what was your big takeaway?
Yeah. Immediately, there were definitely a few concepts early in the book that I really gravitated to. The first one was just that idea of when you're standing in line at the grocery store and, the clerk is like chatting with the lady and she can't get her debit card and it's like, the line's getting longer and you're at a store that doesn't have self-check and you're like, why? I don't have time with this because I'm like always in a hurry. So like every time I just want to get in and I want to get out, I got to get back to the kids. I got to get back to work, whatever it is. And I just find myself just constantly being agitated. Like, whatever it is, the light isn't turning green fast enough, the checker isn't moving fast enough, the computer is like spinning. Why is it spinning? I need it now. We live in a TikTok world. It really pointed out to me, the book, how much time and energy I'm wasting on those kinds of thoughts.
Getting all worked up.
Getting worked up for nothing.
Well, it's something that's out of your control.
Right.
I think that was really the big just reminder for me was, can I control the situation right now? No, you can't. You can be a jerk about it. You can be all huffy and puffy and make other people uncomfortable in that situation. Right. Or you can just take a deep breath and just say, let them. Or let it, right? And whatever is going on.
Yeah. I let it go. That's more my thing. I mean, I guess let them have their little chit chat when there's like 10 people behind you. But this is so me when she talks about standing in line and then all of a sudden you're thinking about how you could run the store so much better. That is 100% me.
That is so you.
I am. I'm thinking like, if this was my store, blah, 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 blah. There are better things that I could do with my time in that moment.
Yeah.
And that energy, like it hurts your body.
It really does.
So for me, I think it was just a big aha moment. It really has helped me because now I catch myself.
Mm-hmm. And that's the great thing about stories and books or podcasts is there could just be one simple nugget in there that you hang on to. Right. That it helps you as you move forward with your life and your situation.
Yeah.
I think overall the book was pretty simple.
Yeah.
And I actually like the let me part of the book versus the let them part of the book.
Right.
But really, at the end of the day, if it's something that you find yourself in the situation after learning about it, you're like, okay, deep breath. Just let them. Because you can't control whatever it is that somebody else is saying or who they are. I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is a big lesson. We can't control people.
No, I really wish we could. And I've been trying for a very long time.
I know you. I think I mean, certainly, like, you want to change this person. You see, so much just potential in this person, or this guy you're dating, or this girl you're dating, or whatever that is. Like, if they would just do this, how many times in our life have we said that? Just a day, like, we can't control them now, And for me, that was a good reminder in this book. And I thought it was so simplistic, was just, look, you can't control other adults' actions or who they choose to be in that moment. Now, I think there are situations where we don't let them, right? We don't let people hurt people. We don't let people hurt ourselves. That's not what this is about. These are just about like life moments, or maybe you're in a relationship and the other person breaks up with you and you're like tormented about, that. I mean, at some point, like, you just gotta let them.
Yeah, there's a good chapter, if that's your situation. There's a good chapter in the book about that. I mean, it didn't help me with my husband because I'm a very reactive person, and so is he. But now that I have this awareness, it's really about the pause, right? It's helping me just be like, okay, I don't like what just happened, but instead of like responding to it, like, I'm just going to let him.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to zip it.
Yeah. Take a moment, right? Yeah. Or 10.
But again, it's about me having that self-control to just let me not react in the same way. And it's really, really hard. It's like so hard. I think we were talking earlier. Another thing I liked about the book is I'm a vomit texter. She talks about that.
She's a mom and texter.
A vomit texter. Mm-hmm. But all of these things goes to reacting emotionally, which is really pretty immature.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, I think it really definitely helped me have that awareness about just taking a chill pill, taking a time out, taking a breath and just reconsider, like, how should I approach it? Like you said, what is the let me? Not just about like the anger, the trigger, but I think getting feelings hurt. Mm-hmm. So like for me, while I'm a vomit texter, I'm also a really good texter. Like I'm super responsive. That's just who I am. If somebody texts me, I'm going to get back to you really quickly, thoroughly. And there's just not that many people out there like me. And
she's special.
Sometimes I'm like, 3 days have gone by and that person hasn't responded to me. And then instead of just going like, I'm sure they're busy, maybe they forgot about the text or whatever, I start going, what did I do? Like, did I say something wrong in that text? Is she mad at me? Is she like,
And I think that's more of a female thing,
right,
versus a male thing.
They would never think of that,
Yeah. But as females, for sure, I think we can kind of go down that rabbit hole of thought.
Yeah.
So yes, this book again kind of just helps you to have awareness around your thought. And really, the part of this book I liked the most was the let me part.
Yeah. So talk to us about that, Kelly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, essentially, it's just, can you control other people? No. Can we control ourselves? Yes, we can. Sometimes it's hard. So what am I going to do in this situation? I had a situation this morning with work and it was intense. And, I was just like, okay, just take a deep breath and breathe through this. What can I do to help foster the solution? And without getting emotional, without doing the blame game, without all those kind of things, like, what can I do? And that really gives one control over a scenario or a situation that feels kind of like out of our control.
Right.
And again, like, I can't control that other person that's all worked up and, what's going on, but I can control how I behave. I can control how I react. I can control my voice. I can control needing to pause, maybe taking a step back. We don't have to say everything that's on our minds.
We don't.
Okay. Like, I'm not sure if you ever got that memo. I think some of us didn't.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
We don't have to say everything on our minds in the moment. Sometimes it's okay to take a step back and evaluate the scenario. What's going on? What really needs to be said? Who am I for that moment? Who am I for this situation? What can I contribute positively? Is what I'm going to say or do, is it going to have a negative effect? You know, I think like really just thinking about it. Now, sometimes you just have to lay it out there. But again, if that's your automatic response is to be very reactive and very emotional, there's a good chance you might not be thinking clearly in that moment.
Right. She told some stories in the book too, is giving some thought to why they might be reacting the way they're reacting.
Sure. Yeah.
And like maybe trying to see their point of view.
Or being curious, I think.
Or being curious, yeah, because maybe we make assumptions, but maybe asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about a situation. Someone had just responded to me so negatively. I got my feelings hurt about it. And then I made it into a thing.
Mm-hmm.
When really, I thought about it later. I thought, why didn't I just ask him?
Just even that thought, that takes courage.
It does.
It really takes courage to take a deep breath and just say, hey, transparently, can I ask you a question? And we don't have to be like, oh, like defensive. Like, just be honest and calm and, can we just have a transparent conversation? Mm-hmm. Hey, when you said this, it really hurt my feelings. Like, did I, how can I, whatever that is, like, tell me, let's unpack that. Because I really don't want to, whatever, right? I think if we could just have more of that kind of conversation, it helps relationships.
Right.
And it doesn't kill them,
Right. If I could have just said in that, like, I'm confused.
Yeah. And it's amazing what our minds do as well. We start to fill in the gaps. I mean, Renee Rodriguez will say, the narrative genius, right? Yeah. And neuroscience and how our brains work. Right. And they're so true because we do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
I recently was texting back and forth with one of my associates, and we were going to be in the same city, and I don't get to see him often. He's a great guy. I love spending time with him, and we just jive when we're together. And I had texted, and I felt like he was blowing me off. And then I'm like,
ghosting you.
Well, no, he was responding, but it was just responding in a way that wasn't like clear on, let's get together, let's schedule some time. And I was like, and then my brain, then I go in all these like, oh my God, did I say something? Did I do something? Like, this isn't the relationship we've had. And then I start to go on this journey over a
spiral. Right. Yeah.
So I just responded and said, hey, can we just have a transparent conversation? We hopped on a call. He's like, oh my God, I'm so glad that you said I would never. No, I absolutely want to. I didn't think that you would want to because you're coming off of another event and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, sometimes you just have to have the courage to be like, hey,
be honest,
just talk,
right?
And be okay with whatever that communication is.
Right.
And, again, now we get into the taking things personal.
Right.
I mean, this is hard. Right. So again, let them have their opinion. Let me have grace.
I'm glad that you brought up the grace thing, Kelly, because that is something that really stood out to me, is because I don't know if the words let them is always appropriate for the situation, because I'm a person of faith and the way that God has called us to be is to have grace. So grace is always right for the situation, right? Let them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, it's a little tricky, but grace, we can always have grace.
Yeah.
For ourselves and for other people.
Yeah. What about the book did you not connect with? Like, was there any part of it that you
Yeah, it kind of goes back to let them really the right thing for the situation. I know that Mel says repeatedly throughout the book that the main part of this book is not for children, and that she has, an additional guide for the let them theory with the children. But yet she told this story about, kids having a temper tantrum in the store and you telling them not to cry, and then they're going to suppress their emotions as adults, and then they can't. And I don't connect to that at all. And part of it, my husband's a football coach, and he coaches my son's flag football team. And this last season, we had a player on our team who literally every practice, which is twice a week, and every game, he was crying over something. And it just really, it made the other kids uncomfortable and the coaches, and I always having to like talk this kid off the ledge, like, so you didn't catch the ball, you'll catch the ball next time. And, these kinds of things. Like, he was just, and his dad was just there every practice and every game, and he was just letting him. letting him, just let him cry every practice. And I just like, I don't connect with it as a mom of, 2 boys. Like, I need to help them understand what's appropriate for the situation. It's not about telling them not to cry to suppress their emotion.
Yeah.
But we have conversations with our boys regularly about when is it appropriate to cry and when is it not.
Mm-hmm.
But what about you, Kelly? What about the book, if anything, was just something that you didn't connect with?
Yeah. I really like the first half of the book. And even though I really like the let me part of it, which kind of comes in the second half, I felt like the narrative in the second half, it just kind of lost my interest, honestly. I think about the friendships,
Adult
friendships, and there was a lot around that. And maybe I'm sure that's gonna speak to somebody else. It just didn't really speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do think that there was a part of that where she talks about, as an adult, how we have to approach friendships different. Like, it's harder to make friends as an adult. And she kind of digs deep into that. And I thought that was good context for some people, because again, just, when we're younger and we're with our friends or people that become our friends because we're in class 8 hours a day, and then we play sports, and we're hanging out on the weekends, and we're doing all the things, that isn't necessarily the case after schooling.
Right.
So I could appreciate that. I thought, that was good feedback. But there was a lot of story there about just, friends and going on, vacations without you, and what did I do, and the whole, that part of it. I didn't really connect to that.
No. Also, the thing about proximity, while that is true, I think that if you have, because you and I have best friends who live out of town.
Yeah.
And I mean, my best friend and we've been best friends for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And we live more than 2,000 miles away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the proximity thing. While I think that's true, I have certain friends simply because of proximity, because they live in the neighborhood.
Sure.
Our kids go to school together, that sort of thing. But I think true friendships and true bonds, like, they transcend proximity, right?
They can. It's harder.
It's harder.
You have to really make an effort. I mean, my dear friends, Christy, who I went to college with, she's in Atlanta. And so, I mean, I don't get to see her. Sometimes I don't get to see her at any point during a year. Sometimes it's a couple years before we get to see each other.
Same.
But I don't know. We just really have a bond that transcends the distance. And I know that if I ever needed her, and there are times I do, like, she's there, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And
you guys went to Europe together this year, right?
No, that was Heather. That was my other Heather. She's from high school. Yeah.
My best friend's from high school too. And what we do, we have a weekly one-on-one. So every Wednesday morning, when I drop the kids off from school, I call her. And we just connect, like, hey, what's going on with your kids, with your life, with your husband, your mom, all that, like, just every week. And we've been doing this for, I don't know, more than a decade.
But you're being intentional with the effort to continue the bond of the relationship. Right. So I do think when proximity isn't there, it's the intention.
It's more work. Yeah, it definitely is. But it's not impossible. Yeah. Right. So I don't think it only comes down to those 3 things that she said in the book. Yeah. But I did like the part when it gets into the adult friendships, where she talked about the coffee shop that she went to and how she had been going there for a year. And then just like she had this epiphany, and then she was like, asking the barista, like, what's your name? And then, the people that go there, I see that. And I think that's a good reminder of this whole, like, go first. Like, people don't want to go first. It gets into that courage thing that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
People don't want to go first. Yeah. But it's no big deal. It's like literally like, what's your name? It's amazing how what's your name it's so simple and it's so basic. Yeah. And yet people forget about it all the time. Like, the easiest way to start a friendship is, what's your name?
Or be curious. Right. Just be curious about the person or the scenario or the place or what they're reading or whatever that is. I think being curious is key. But I agree. I think that also it's just being open.
Right.
So it sounded to me like in her story, that first year that she moved to that very small town, she was kind of closed off, and she was in, this self-pity, and I don't have any friends. And this was the story she's telling herself until she decided to tell herself a different story and then put herself out there and be open to new conversations and new people.
Right.
And I think really that's such a important lesson, that it's not new.
No.
We know these, it's basic.
Right.
But Mel does a pretty good job of, kind of walking us back through good reminders.
Yeah, definitely.
If there's anybody new to this theory and you haven't read the book yet, I do think it's worth a read for sure.
Yeah.
Listen. I listened to it.
I mean,
Did you listen to it?
Audible, yeah. Which I like. Can I just tell you why I like having it on Audible?
Why?
Because I like hearing like Mel tell me these things in Mel's voice.
I will tell you, I listen to a lot of books, and she's a very good narrator of her own story, because it feels like she's not reading a book, she's telling a story.
Right.
And I really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
She's got and if you aren't following her podcast, follow it. She has some really great guests on there as well.
Like when she says, this stops now, like I need Mel to be telling me this stops now. Like I need that tone, right?
And then you can hear the fluctuation in her voice, and then she'll laugh, and it makes it more digestible, I think.
Yeah.
And
I think she cries in it too. She cries. There's a section where she gets choked up. Yeah.
Maybe I missed that. All right. So let's see. So for new listeners, any tips or takeaways other than get the book, read it?
I mean, get the book. You know what? She has a lot of merch too. So like, I have a let them shirt, but there is I saw somebody had like a let them on their mirror. And I know a few road rage drivers that like, they need a little let them stare on their car mirror, on the rear view mirror or whatever. So I don't know if that helps you. I was fascinated by all the people that were getting the tattoos.
Yeah.
That they were getting let them tattoos. So, hey, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
If it's just that reminder to just pause, have grace, breathe, and think about like what you can do and not how to control the situation or the other person.
Yeah. And if you've already read the book, I mean, comment below. We want to know your feedback. Like, what did you think was the best takeaway from the book? Would you recommend the book? What did you like about the book? Like, let's get the comments going. And again, I loved it. I mean, I love the fact that she just put herself out there, and she did this with her daughter, which was so cool.
Right.
So I can appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to figure out what the next book is. You can comment that below too. If you've got a book that you think that we should read and do a review and check it out, let us know.
I love it. All right. Shine bright, everybody.
Bye.